So today I want to talk about when you, as the scapegoat, becomes a super empath. Hi there. I've been missing for about 2 weeks because I was in hospital with dengue fever, which is a very severe infection from a mozzie bite. I swear the mosquito was my mother. I can't think of anyone who hates me that much. So it was pretty severe. I was in the hospital for about 10 days. I want to talk about something that really I was taken aback by it. And I think it's important to talk about it because one day the doctor asked me, because in my next of kin, in my records, I have three very good friends. And the doctor wanted to speak to a family member. And I wasn't too triggered because, these things have happened so many times. But I want to tell you that if this happens to you, then it can be quite triggering, it can be quite depressing, and it can bring back a lot of, stuff that you were going through, stuff that maybe you thought that you've already gotten over, but you haven't. So this kind of thing kind of like sets you back a bit. So I said, I don't have any family. And well, I didn't want to go into a long story. So I said, well, these people, they're my family. These are this is my half brother, my half sister, and this is my cousin. And that was just to cut the crap, I just didn't want to explain anything. So I said, they're my half brother and sister. They're married, but, don't worry about it. And one of the nurses said, "Oh, how is it that they are your half brother and sister? Because one is Russian, one is Scottish Malay, and the third one is full on Malay. There's no Chinese in there." So I said, to cut the crap further, I just said, "Well, we were brought up in the same orphanage," and sometimes we've got to lie because we don't want to go into this. Society deludes themselves into thinking that family members know you best. Which, for some of us, it couldn't be further from the truth. How could they know you when they're not even interested in your priorities, in your lifestyle, what is best for you? They can only see from their own perspective. How can they make decisions for you, especially life-threatening decisions? My whole week there, I was displaying very good mental acuity, and I was of sound mind. So why would you need to speak to a real family member? So what I want to say to you, some of you who really don't have family, I want to remind you that you do. You do have family. You just have to look slightly away from what you've been looking at and expecting family members to behave in the way that you would like them to. So just look a little bit away from there and you'll see that you do have family. You have family in good friends who know you better than any blood family member, who make decisions on your behalf when needed, that is for your good, that is to your interest. And friends who text you to say, don't bother to entertain those who are just busybodies. Like, oh, how did it happen? When did it happen? How are you feeling? What the fuck? How do you think I'm feeling? This is where you have to be brutal and go straight to those who text you with, what do you need? I'm coming over right now. Okay? Just those friends. Everyone else, this illness brought a lot to my attention. Obviously, who are the friends who would jump to help, and who are those who just want a busybody to know what's going on in your life without intending to help. So anyway, it's not the fault of the doctor or the nurses who, almost insisted on speaking to a family member. What I want to say is that society has indoctrinated itself so much that they think that, in dire circumstances, in situations where maybe you can't make your own decisions, where there is no power of attorney, like legal power of attorney, the first people they go to are family members, assuming that they know you well, assuming that they have your best interests at heart, assuming that they even know that there is such a thing as a different perspective. Most people don't. Most people make decisions based on their emotions, their priorities, and from their perspective. So anyway, I don't want to go further into that. That was a horrendous 10 days, but it did enlighten me more than or rather, it speeded up my spiritual awakening process. I wouldn't wish it on anyone, but I am like more energized than before. And there were certain realizations. And I think all in all, it was a good experience. So today I want to talk about when you, as the scapegoat, becomes a super empath. I think scapegoats have always been super empaths. But the reason I call it super empath is because, scapegoats are empaths, but they haven't fine-tuned and refined their skills, their talents to become super empaths that can really win a fight with narcissists, that can hold their confidence, that can stand on their own feet. Because scapegoats, even though they started as empaths, they were beaten down, they were belittled, they were crushed and suppressed because of this potential that they have. So when the scapegoat has gone through all the crap that all the abuse, and when they start rising from all that crap, they're on their way to being a super empath. And this is what a super empath does. The difference between an empath and a super empath, there's actually no difference. The difference is in your attitude, is in your confidence, because a super empath has self-love, self-respect, self-assurance, and confidence from doing all the inner work that they had to do, from the abuse that they suffered, from all the stages, like the first stage, which is acknowledgement of what happened. And then they go through the stages of feeling sorry for themselves, and they go through the stages of finding information online and, frantically trying to cure themselves. And after some time, some people take years, some people take decades. After all that, when they have finally risen above their past, when they have finally conquered their past, they emerge as super empaths, and they take no shit from anyone. Okay? They're the same empaths that they started off. They have empathy, they have compassion, they have kindness. They understand someone else's situation, and they empathize with them. They're generous in spirit. But here's the thing about super empath is that they know who to give their attention, their all, their best to. They know that. They know the difference. And they're not going to take crap from anyone, and they're not going to waste even 1 second of their time, of their kindness, of their compassion, of all their good points on people who don't deserve them, on people who are likely to take advantage of them. That's the difference between a plain empath and a super empath. And you, as a scapegoat, one day you will get there. I promise you, you will get there if you haven't already. The super empath knows how to conduct themselves in adversity, in the face of narcissism, when people disrespect them, when people abuse them, the super empath scapegoat knows how to deal with them. They deal with them with silence. They deal with them by walking away. They deal with them by telling themselves no more. The super empath doesn't give more than 2 chances. Best you don't even give more than 1 chance. Yeah, because the super empath knows instinctively who are the good people and who are the evil ones. And they waste no time in walking away from them. They waste no time in explaining anything to them. They just keep quiet and they walk away. And they tell themselves, you're not worth my while, you're not worth my time, goodbye. So I hope this has helped you recognize in yourself that you are becoming a super empath who have not lost your compassion and your kindness, but rather have gained strength to protect that goodness and that compassion in you. That's what a super empath does. They protect themselves. I'll see you next week. Bye for now.